Hello and welcome to Huddle 2026. I'm Jonah, the lead developer at Spacious, and firstly let me begin with just a massive thank you to all of you for being here. We've honestly been blown away by the engagement with Spacious over the past couple of years, and it's amazing to get to the point where we can run a convention like this and get to meet the incredible community that makes Spacious what it is. And to all of you tuning in online, again, a massive thank you for being here and joining us. And yeah, we're just super excited for the very first Huddle. Hopefully you've seen the list of talks and events we've got lined up for the week. If not, that's all on our website, so do check that out. And this is just going to be a short intro from me to basically sum up Spacious, share a bit of our vision, and also excitingly, I get to tease a few of the upcoming features we've got. So yeah, stick around for that. And yeah, let's just jump into it. So to start with the basics, Spacious is an all-in-one operating system and 3D user interface for virtual reality devices. Currently only compatible with PC rather than standalone headsets, simply due to the high resource intensity. But I'm excited to share that we are now working with a number of VR companies to try and get Spacious running natively on a HMD. So yeah, keep your eyes on our social media channels for the next couple of months as we'll be sharing the progress as to how it goes. And we know that that's a feature that many of you have been asking for, very understandably, and we're super excited about it too. We also wanted to use this time to share with you our overall vision for Spacious and where we hope to drive it in these coming years. We've said before that our original goal was to go beyond the screen, to leave purely 2D interfaces behind as a thing of the past, enable our digital technology to be just as physical and three-dimensional as our day-to-day lives. All of you that have used Spacious will hopefully know just how much of a difference that extra dimension can make. We've seen time and time again people feed back to us that it's allowed for better compartmentalization between work and entertainment, how it's enabled those from more traditional crafts more easily transition to digital workflows, and even help people with medical conditions. I think those three examples that really sum up what we're most proud about and want to really keep pushing in the future of Spacious is, the idea that technology can work differently in different ways for different people, enabling us to more greatly personalize technology. One of the things we're working hardest to combat is the exploitation of users' data in the technology sector. We're living in the wake of such events as the 2025 Google AI scandal, where we saw users' data harvested and fed into AIs to bias search results, providing more agreeable but ultimately falsified information. And of course, there's the ongoing MetaQuest controversy that started earlier this year, where users' point cloud data is being sold to third parties for marketing purposes. And at Spacious, we realized a while ago that we didn't need technology to personalize itself for us, that we all have homes that we organize and arrange to make sense to us. Some of us perhaps don't organize them, and that's how we like it. And either way, we imagine that if only computers could become more like our houses, more like our homes, then we wouldn't need these massive machine learning algorithms and these data stealing AIs to do the work for us. Each individual could simply make themselves at home in a way that feels natural to them. If you roll back the clock just a couple of years ago, and me and a couple of developers were starting to make that a reality as we released the first version of Spacious. Some of you will remember those early days, and even then, many of the core components that you all know from Spacious today were there. Some of those first features we made were the tiny icons that populate the user's hands that you'll now probably know as bling. We realized very early on that in VR, the hands are the most important part. In fact, they are your whole body. They're the only part that you can see in VR. Bling was our way of maximizing the usability of our users' hands while still having very clear affordances based on the buttons that the controllers allowed. It's obviously still a huge problem with hand-tracked interfaces. How do you get that to work? And while our idea was good in theory, in practice we realised that VR headsets had such small FOVs at the time that users had to be practically holding their hands up in front of them in order to see the icons on them. Thankfully, a mix of headsets getting larger FOVs over the years and us reworking the software to project the icons onto the object you're looking at means that this is rarely an issue anymore. Two other features that came about right at the dawn of Spacious were our edit mode and rhythm, the logic system, that arguably are two of the most integral parts of the software today. We really wanted to address the skill level that was in place and needed to 3D model and world build softwares at the time, as well as the perspective that these applications put their user in. Apps like Unreal Engine or Unity, as amazing as they are, put the user in the shoes of a flying drone that could edit the world from any angle or position. And whilst it sounds practical, we felt much more compelled by the approach taken by creative games such as Minecraft, where the player builds their world from the first-person view of their character. The difference in outcomes can be enormous, and we think that the latter method produces better scaled and more sensitively detailed designs. That's why we decided that Spacious's editing mode would be in VR too, allowing for anyone to rearrange their world without needing the skill of reading an architectural plan. Rhythm, our inbuilt logic system, drew off of much the same inspiration, but also kind of borrowed from visual node-based programming languages that have been around for a while. We've got those such as Blueprints in Unreal Engine. Blender has geometry nodes, and there's Grasshopper as well, which is architectural parametric design software. The added beauty with our 3D system is the embodiment of code into objects, making for almost literally object-oriented programming. We found that having code spatially situated around a user's world also made it much more intuitive for people to understand the flow of logic. Getting a switch to turn on a light was now as simple as dragging a wire from one place to another. And an interface in the coding sense is no longer just an abstract concept, but literally that physical wire between the two objects. Of course, there have been many other innovations and things that we've learned over the years, especially as our team has grown and we've got to work with more and more talented individuals. And of course, we couldn't have done it without all of the feedback that you all provide. Our millions of users around the world have helped us diversify and also fine-tune so many of the things within Spacious, allowing it to become the universal yet highly personal software that it is today. We've learned so much about what a digital space is and what it should be. Firstly, that so much from the physical world can be borrowed and directly copied into a virtual setting and retain its familiarity and affordances. We've seen the range of sports equipments in the catalogue be hugely successful. And we believe it's because of our human minds finding enjoyment in kind of physics and collisions that makes these objects feel solid and tangible. Properties are extremely lacking in traditional software. At the same time, we've been surprised many times by the new and creative ways you all find to use and sometimes even exploit the extra features that the virtual world offers. We've seen worlds created that defy gravity, structures built that surpass the economic and resource limitations that we face in reality. Users have made rhythms to automate and enhance so many areas of their lives, and some have even been created with malicious intent. And whilst we obviously don't agree with such actions, it does, demonstrate the vast range of capabilities and the technical freedom of Spacious. A 2011 documentary about the internet titled All Watched Over by Machines of Loving Grace that some of you may have watched stated that the fear of increased connection and freedom via technology was anarchy. The internet has since obviously proven that hypothesis wrong to an extent. But we are excited by all the new boundaries and possibilities that the internet and Spacious will be able to overcome in the future. of all the new doors that you will be able to open up with these new softwares. Anyway, that's enough of me getting passionate about Spacious. Let's now get to the bit you've all been waiting for and reveal some of the new features we've got lined up for the next Spacious update. Firstly, we'll be bringing community worlds out of alpha and officially releasing them to everyone. Now, for those of you who don't know, our community worlds where multiple users will be able to author a single world, so allowing for joint working environments, commercial districts, family worlds, to name a few possibilities. We're excited to be taking another step forward towards a fully functioning metaverse, which has always been our long-term goal, but as always, we're cautious not to rush that, unlike other VR companies, Meta. So, yeah, please bear with us as we continue to add new features to these shared worlds. But yeah, we're just excited to have them out in the open now and see what you guys will do with them. Secondly, we've got a massive vegetation update coming, basically just making vegetation even more realistic in Spacious. So now plants will grow up over time and even be affected by the light levels that they're in. You'll also want to make sure that you're watering your plants to avoid them dying. But of course, all of these features are optional, so if you'd rather not go through the hassle, which I probably can't either, then you can turn them all off. And it's also worth saying that you can continue to use the Ice Age feature to freeze time in your world if you go on holiday or just want to break from Spacious. Lastly, we've changed a few things about the gallery app. So as part of our mission to end doom scrolling and social media addiction, from the following updates, Gallery will run an admission fee system, like a real art gallery. So this means that you'll only pay for entering Gallery and for the time that you use it for, which we hope will make it fairer for everyone using it and also give you another incentive not to spend too long in there. There are season passes available for those of you that spend quite a lot of time in Gallery, but again, we're hoping that it will help people think a bit more about how much time they're spending on social media. And as always, Gallery will remain completely ad-free like the rest of the Spacious software. So that rounds up the main changes coming in our next update that should drop sometime in the next couple of months. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on our social media channels where we'll be sharing updates. You can find the full update notes all on our website as usual. So if you want the full details, head there. And also a few of the other features will be discussed over the week at Huddle. For now, that's all I've got time for. So thanks once again so much for being here. And yeah, just investing in Spacious. And yeah, we're really excited for this week and just hope that you enjoy everything we've got to offer. So that's all from me. And if you catch me around during the week, do come over. I'd love to get to know as many of you as possible. But yeah, just thank you and enjoy.